we have done several projects and workshops in the southern hemisphere so far, maybe even more than in the northern at home. But slowly we have to recognize that problems with the resources and sustainability are created in the northern hemisphere. So we cannot just travel to south and do small changes there. We have to change our own civilization as well. So indeed Nordic countries are not the foregoing countries. They do have to transform their own systems much more deeply at the moment.
Yes, and a lot of the challenges the Scandinavian countries, Nordic countries are facing are connected with energy, use of energy in architecture and the building the building business in general. And then architects are seeing the possibility of contributing to a change there. But it is a kind of Protestant country, so it's a very kind of committed towards reaching the goals, and there is a tendency to focus on good and bad in this debate in Scandinavia today, and we are not necessarily always agreeing on the focus that has been put forward by the architects' unions in the Nordic countries.
It is impossible today to make a cheap home for students or young couples because the technical requirements are so high that necessarily we make ecological architecture in one way because we are saving energy, but in another way we are using a lot of energy while we are producing the buildings, and then the question can be, is the quality of life better this way, or is it just more ecological when it comes to sustainability in reality, in the end, the whole life circle of the building. So we are kind of overdoing the technical level and not thinking so much about the real quality of life.
We can only show examples of how to do things differently, and then it's up to the market to decide to adopt those ideas or not. And things don't happen very fast with the market, but and I agree, Boxholm is clearly maybe the most clear example of a political statement about things, how they are practiced.
We wanted to show that you can make a different kind of architectural answer to a small apartment in Scandinavia, 2012, and it doesn't need to be in a certain format to be economically good investment as well for an investor. So kind of saying that we have the best possibility to make prototypes and test ideas. We don't need to produce serial produce mainstream quality for people with a very high price. Of course, the question is that could you really do this in the real market? This is a question, but the market has to change. So in a way we have a self-certainty about this issue because we know our right, but then again the market is right in its own way, and that's a constant discussion we are having, that everybody thinks they are right, but in the end who wins is very important in this battle, the market or the nature, for instance.
We are also teaching, so there's a possibility to engage in a debate about things through the educational institutions as well.
There's a lot of research done about sustainability, how to make a real change in the world, and there's an agreement today that you have to change the way of educating people. And they even say that the university is not the best model to teach grown-up people. The best way to teach, we have found in Western culture, is kindergarten. It's the closest to the perfect teaching environment where people are playing with things. They set up with projects and see what happens and learn from them, combined with good evaluation system, of course. It's not just playing. But so what a workshop is, it's a process where we are on the same level with the students, which are the builders and the architects, and we are on the same boat, and we start somewhere. We know that we have to make a structure and the client's wishes have to be addressed, but we don't know what it will look like. And in the end we can evaluate it, and this is true learning for all of us, and it is true sustainable research.
The students, they see this when they come into these workshops, that the discussion with the client is a very important pillar. Discussion about the site, the building code, etc., etc.
And especially the discussion with if there are some handcraft workers on place. It's never a problem for a good handicraft people to try new solutions. They are also thinking with their hands, and so it's very nice to work with people who have this tacit knowledge, like it's called. And I think if architects had a bit more of that tacit knowledge, there would be much better buildings as well.
Academia has, the last maybe 20, 40, 50 years, attempted to distance itself from the general public, from people, basically, and creating an image of the architect as the expert, and thereby also an image of this person or this group of persons as something inaccessible, something, somebody you can't communicate with even, and
elitistic.
Elitistic, yeah. So when we are traveling to places, we are seeing a great kind of relief from people, that they are discovering that architects are actually made of flesh and bone and bones, and that it's possible to talk with them and engage in a discussion about what to do, what is important for them, and take it down to a grassroots level where changes can take place. And so I think that this is a phenomenon we see many places around the world. So it's very easy for us to trace a parallel between these different places.